So I think the fantasy museum that we have here is coming together kind of nicely, but I do think it could be better. We have so many exhibits in here, we have chickens in here, and I feel like the decoration around them deserves to be a little bit better than what I've got right now, especially that gate thing on the right. I think there's some cool stuff we could do with that. And so I want to move it over this way, and I'm sort of thinking I could put it right in this corner. I might move it forward a little bit so I can put some decorations behind it, but for the most part, I want it to be in sort of that space, and I want to just put stuff on either side of it that makes it look like it's a gate that maybe goes somewhere, like it's a gate into a forest, or it's a gate into something or other, basically, is kind of where I'm coming from with this. It wants to be a gate into somewhere. Now, the fantasy stuff is all well and good, and we probably will need some fantasy stuff for this. It wants to be near a merchant barrel, for example. So we're going to need one of those to decorate the thing. But other than that, I think we could probably just go ahead and put trees around this, to be completely honest. So we'll put a barrel right there. I'm hoping this thing is connected to an info stand, which it isn't, so we'll need to do something about that. Although it is connected to this one, which is actually okay. I don't mind that. So I suppose the next thing that I want to do is change up some of the walls back here to be this sort of ancient stone that we have going on. I think it's going to look a little bit better, and it kind of blends everything together, which is what I'm looking for. When it comes to the floor for this guy, we have some ancient diamond tiles that we could play with. So we'll start here, we'll go across, and I think we'll just sort of surround this thing in a bunch of ancient diamond tiles, because I think it looks kind of neat. We could go for these guys. We could go for something a bit more random, which that sort of is, although I'm not 100% sure that these necessarily match that stone wall as much as I would like them to. We have got some other options though. So if we look in here, we have stuff like this, which is the tavern tile. Definitely way too clean. So I think we'll go back. We'll go for something like the ancient diamond tiles, maybe the stone tiles. I think the diamond ones are fine. And then I want to play around with some botany stuff to make this look a little bit more interesting than it does right now. I think we can definitely get some plants in here just to surround this. That's maybe a little bit big. That's maybe a little bit too much of a plant for around this guy. We do have smaller palm trees, maybe? We have wonky palm trees. We have museum columns. I'll get some of those. They don't really match the vibe that I was looking for, unfortunately, so maybe not. We do have an explorer statue, which, I mean, it's a little bit random to have next to this thing, but I think it would be kind of cool to have like a statue next to the door. So I think we're gonna do that, and I'll have to bring the floor out a little bit more around this, but that's okay. And then I think around this guy, we can play around with some different plants just to make it look sort of overgrown and like it's an ancient sort of door in the middle of some jungle or something like that. The big palm tree is definitely a bit too much, but we do have these other ones. So we'll get the palm tree, which I think looks a little bit better. We have the thin palm tree, which is probably pretty good as well. So I think we'll rotate this guy around and we'll just put it right back about there. We can go and get ourselves the regular palm tree, and it can live, I want to say, right back here. I would like this one to go as close to that plant as possible. Is going to be better. And we're getting somewhere with this. It's starting to look like a gateway into a jungle, which is the vibe that I'm looking for. I think we can go back in. We can maybe get ourselves this tile, and maybe I want to bring it out a little bit. I think that might be a good idea, just to sort of extend this guy so that all the plants are on that floor. We could even go so far as swapping some of this out, because we have got things like Dragon's Lair, we have got things like gravel, we have dirt in here as well somewhere, I'm pretty sure. This game needs a search function. It has a search function. Okay, well, that's good. We'll do something like this, I think. We'll do some dirt sort of around the outside of this space to make it feel a little bit more rustic, and like the plants should maybe be there. I don't think it matters too much what's at the back of this thing. I don't really think I want people back here, so I'm just going to decorate further around it, but I think that looks cool. You've got the path leading up to the door. You've got the ancient explorer statue on one side. I think that's very, very cool. And this is something I'd like to do with more exhibits. We have like the lava statue. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. We have a snake fountain as well. I think the lava statue should live like over here. I think that's a really cool place for it. We can sort of just tuck it into that spot underneath the palm tree. That doesn't seem like a bad idea at all. It doesn't seem like a terrible idea in the slightest. Let's move this barrel to the back for now. We're going to sort of cheat a little bit with that decoration so that we still get the buzz bonus, but we're not displaying the barrel as a part of the exhibit. We'll put this guy on this side. We'll move this plant just into, I want to say that spot's pretty good. And this is kind of coming together, but I think there's more that we can do here. I'm thinking that maybe, I don't know if botany is necessarily what I'm looking for. It might not quite have the vibe that we want out of this. We do have hedges though. We have archways, we have different plants. So maybe something like the star flower down here could be interesting for just like a little bit of color at the front of this. Maybe we go for something like this. That's a little bit too big actually. Something like this guy is kind of interesting. I don't want to block the view of the fire thing, but a little bit of color in there seems nice. There we go. I think that looks so much better than what we had before. And this is something, like I said, I want to do this a little bit more. I want to start really decorating individual exhibits and sort of creating an experience around them. And I want to get away from this one big room that we have right here. So basically the idea is that someone comes in here and they're sort of walking on a sort of set path around this part of the museum, and it's going to kind of guide them through the exhibits. They're going to walk past them and they're going to be set into, at least where possible, a scenario that makes them look good. So this big thing, for example, is, I think that looks really cool. I think that looks kind of fantastic. I love how that looks, and that's something I think we should do more of. So over time, we will do more of that. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is over time, we're going to do that. Because we also need to get more stars across all of my museums. We need to continue sending out expeditions. So I figure that's what we can do. We can go to the expedition map. We can go back to the Scorched Earth. We have places like this, which we need to employ an expert qualified in level 2 potion mastery. I think we can do that. I'm pretty sure we can do that. So we'll keep an eye on that one. For this place, we need a marine life expert, which I'm going to avoid for now. We have everything from this place, so I'm not too concerned about going back, although we could start analyzing some devilish doors, which might be a really great idea. We have everything down this way as well. We have everything here as well. We did get rid of the dragon. We did start heading up north. We need to go to Folktown, so we'll absolutely be doing that, but I just want to make sure that we have everything else. So at the ruins of Wishfell Village, for example, we haven't discovered anything. Going here, we're going to need 3 fantasy experts. No one is going to be missing in action, though we might suffer some curses. Although if we autofill this, if we could get higher intelligence, we'll avoid this one. I don't know what the chances of higher intelligence are going to necessarily be, but well, there's that one. We've got up to 28, which is good. 25 dexterity means we don't have any delays. A bit more strength and we avoid injury, but it's going to be one or the other. So I think I'm okay with that. I think we'll just go for a safe expedition, and I think we'll go and say a bit more XP for everybody is a fair idea. I suppose we could probably do the same thing over here as well. We'll go somewhere else. This place over here, for example, the Mines of Ad Nausea. We still have one more thing to discover, and we still need to figure out what we're doing with these geodes, which for the life of me, I have no idea. We also want to avoid being worm food, so we're gonna wait for everybody to get back, because becoming worm food seems like a really, really bad idea. This place needs an epic quality dwarven device exhibit. Okay, in that case, let's have a look at Folktown and let's see what that's all about. Also, the Wobbling Goblin, I believe we've been here. We do have mythical gear that we can discover, so we'll set up an expedition. We're gonna probably get injured, which is fine. We'll go for some bonus XP and we'll start that expedition. Also, the particular bard that we're sending there has a training slot and level 1 for potion mastery, so we could train them up and unlock another location. We also have a bunch of staff that are ready for training, so let's go down the list of everybody and see what's going on. We'll start with security, and it looks like most of security is actually doing pretty good. The janitors, on the other hand, there's a bunch of them ready for some training. So Barbara, I want to say we maybe want to give you some fire resistance. Kate Binge, we've got some options here. We have mechanics, we have movement speed. This is going to make your maintenance and upgrades a bit faster. I think we'll do that. We haven't really gone around and upgraded anything in a while, so I'd like to make sure that we're doing that. Cooper Gunge, we're going to go for customer service because that seems like a great idea. Donald Hurt is already being trained, and a few of these guys are gold standard customer service, which is beautiful. Very, very happy about that. You can go to gold standard customer service as well. Tabby is going to do the same thing once Tabby's done getting silver. Vince is gold standard customer service. Vivian Eggnog is gold standard customer service. And my experts. Do we have anyone in here? We have you. You are a prehistory expert, rank 10. That's pretty good. You can do analysis, which is also pretty good. I want to say we haven't really gone out and done prehistory in a while. I don't know if we're gonna do any prehistory right now, so maybe let's give you, well, I don't know. Let's do rapid restoration. That seems like a fair bet. We'll just sort of have you, we'll have you do a little bit of everything, and that seems completely fine by me. All right, so everybody has returned from Wishfell Village. Scarlet, unfortunately, has some broken face, which is not really ideal, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and open this thing and see what we're looking at. It is amazing. It is a pristine dragon's tail from when we managed to cut off the dragon's tail. Very happy about this. We'll send it to inventory for now because it might become a centerpiece for the museum. We do have a crate over here, which is from the Wobbling Goblin. We have another injury, another case of broken face. And this time we have a loot, which is also pristine. This infamous instrument brings riches and repute to any foolhardy or fame-hungry enough to pluck its gold-encrusted strings. Sounds great. So this will encourage guests to make bigger donations. Okay, we'll go ahead and place this. I think it has to be equipped for it to encourage guests to make bigger donations. So that's fine. Honestly, that's okay. We can equip it on somebody at some point, I'm sure. But for now, it can live over here. The buzz is not maxed out because the decoration isn't maxed out, but I think we'll get there at some point in the not too distant future. Because what I'd like to do for now is have another look at my staff and make sure that my experts are all being trained. So Montgomery, we need to get you up to Potion Master level 2 just to make sure that everything's good there. And were you the only one that needed training out of all of my experts? It looks like you were. So while everybody's getting trained, I want to come back in here and I want to start taking out some parts of the museum because I think I want the dragon's tail to be sort of front and center out of everything that we have. So all of these decorations can sort of go for now. I want to say this can sort of go, this can go. The tour guide is also going to have to go. We'll cancel the current tour. It's going to ruin the tour, but it's fine. We'll go ahead then and get ourselves a wall, which I know doesn't sound thrilling, but it's going to be going across there. We'll sort of bring this down both sides, and then the dragon tail exhibit is going to go right here in the middle. And honestly, it's a little bit smaller than I thought it was going to be. It's not as big a dragon as I was expecting. So maybe these walls can sort of come in a little bit just so we're not taking up quite as much space with this thing. But this is kind of the idea, is that I want them to come in. The first thing they see is the dragon's tail, and they can filter around the museum, whatever way they feel like filtering around. Obviously, this is still not quite... It's very much a work in progress. I'm kind of winging it, but I think we'll get somewhere with this. I think we will have to go in and just take out pretty much everything in the middle of this place, which is unfortunate, but I think it'll be worth it. In fact, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to go around pretty much everything in here and send it to inventory, and we can just sort of rebuild this entire space right now is what we can do. My idea is that it's going to be sort of a one-way system. It's, you know, I was going to say it's not going to be strictly a one-way system, but to be completely honest with you, it's going to be kind of strictly a one-way system. There's going to be one way that they can go, and the other way is going to be a one-way door, so they can figure it out. It's going to be a one-way system. All right, so this is kind of the idea. You're going to come in here, you can see the dragon's tail, and then you go around this way is my thinking. Now, this room is probably going to be home to dwarven stuff. I think that's probably fair enough. We'll do like a little corner there that leads you around. We could have some geodes across here. This can probably be changed out for an actual wall. And then the geodes can be pretty much lining this until they're turned into something else, and inevitably we figure out what they actually are. I'm also wondering if I could make this corridor a lot smaller, but I don't know if I want to chance that. It might be a good idea. It might look better with a slightly smaller corridor in there, but I think for now this will kind of do. I think this is kind of enough space for some kind of dwarven exhibit, although maybe, I don't know, a little bit of wall out of here might not be the worst thing in the world. Bring this back a little bit and then bring this forward. And that way we can kind of keep this door here, which I do want to do. I think this door should still be here. So essentially you can go into another part of the museum if you want to. So this is basically going to go past this door. We'll have some stuff in this corner and we'll have some stuff in the middle. It's going to go the entire way around. Like obviously we need to bring people over to this thing as well, which is particularly important. In fact, you know what? I think this door can go away because I think ultimately I want to bring some people kind of into this space in an interesting way. So bring this down again, bring this sort of over. That's sort of where I want people to come through here is kind of around this way. You're going to like walk past this, and I think that could be kind of neat. So essentially this whole corner can kind of be opened up a little bit. This can go back, and yeah, you'll walk through. There'll be an exhibit in here, and I guess you get to look at it and it's cool, and then you go around to the door, which I spent way too long making look interesting. Okay, so while this seems like a total mess, and it sort of is a total mess, I want to go in here and I want to start putting the different exhibits into the different areas. So we have these geodes. I think they can just sort of live in here for now, and I think that's completely okay. So we'll get the green one right there. We'll get the water geode right next to it. And I think I'm just going to have them like this for now, again, until we sort of know what exactly they're supposed to be. We can then go and maybe do a little bit of wall right here and a little bit of wall right here, because my thinking is that maybe we should have some doors that kind of lead us around here. That might not be the worst idea in the world, to sort of continue the one-way doors through here. Although I don't mind people coming back now that I think about it. I don't mind that too much. So if we're doing this sort of dwarven thing, maybe the metal archway would make the most sense for here, since we can use some of the sciencey stuff to make the dwarven area feel very steampunk. And then going into this room, I mean, I'm not really too sure what we're going to use, although we do have the temple archways over this way. So let's, for now, use the Wetlantian archway, and we'll see what we end up doing with all of that. I think that's probably fair enough. So this space, let's have a look. We have the loot, we have the great sword, we have the tapestry, the statues, we have the fool's gold. I think the fool's gold is pretty big. The tapestry is pretty big as well. So maybe the tapestry could sort of live here. I know this is sort of a little bit of like an afterthought space for it, but it seems like a good space for a tapestry. So I'm kind of okay with that one. When it comes to things like the great sword and the loot, maybe the great sword can sort of be tucked down into this corner a little bit. I'm not too sure what way we're going to decorate that, but I think this can be like a gear room. This can be like an armory or something like that. So we have the loot over this way. We have the great sword down in that corner. I think that's kind of interesting. And then I suppose we have a kettle. I don't really think that needs to go in the armory. I think we're okay with that one. We do have fool's gold. We do have the fantasy statue. We have quite a few things to play with here, and I feel like I've almost not given myself enough room for everything, which is slightly frustrating. Maybe the fool's gold can live. No, it's not going down there. It's actually quite huge. It needs a good amount of space. So maybe the fool's gold can live right in that space about there. We'll try and get it sort of central in that corner, and we can try and put some stuff around it to make it look a little bit more interesting. It does very much feel like an afterthought right there. Also, is that child stealing gold? Is that he's playing in it? Okay, that's fine. We can let him play in it. All right, so this has sort of gotten away from me a little bit. I've kind of gone away from the idea of decorating around specific things, and I've leaned more into the idea of this being almost like a manor or a tavern or something like that with a bunch of stuff on display inside of it. And I don't love that, so I'm going to try and pull things back ever so slightly. But my thinking for like the dragon's tail is, hey, this is now on display in some tavern somewhere. It's kind of the same thing with like these items here. It's like, this is the sword of a great warrior that's on display inside of our tavern, and this is a genie's teeny cattle thing. This tapestry is blah 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 blah. My thinking with these guys though, putting these two in the same room, is this is a chest of gold. This thing has gold strings. It's like super valuable was my thought process for these guys. I know that's not the most inspired, but it's all I got, man. It's all I got. Although I do think the gray brick maybe needs to go. So let's swap out for some panels behind these guys. And then maybe we try and do the standard cream next to them. It's not exactly the same color, which is slightly annoying, but I'm hoping that I'm going to live to ignore the fact that it's not exactly the same color. Because again, this room is supposed to be sort of like fancy and luxurious, and it's somewhere that you're going to keep all your gold, so having it be slightly nicer and not just bricks seems like a good idea. And then in terms of decorations, I mean, realistically, I want to put like these pillars in the corners here. I think they're going to look kind of cool to bring it all together just a little bit. We'll do sort of the same thing down here to kind of put something in that corner, because there's absolutely nothing down there right now. And we'll do the same thing up in this corner. We'll do the same thing down here, and we can't do the same thing in that one, but honestly, that's okay. We do have these banners as well, which I think in this case, we'll make it dwarven. So it's as if it's dwarven gold, right? That's kind of the idea there for that banner. And we can maybe do some hanging torches here as well. I think at either corner of the giant chest. Maybe that's kind of a good idea. We'll do one maybe right in front of this guy, or maybe it can have two as well. We'll do one on either side just to really brighten it up a little bit. And then I just need to get, oh no, we've got that to level 5. Okay. Well, we're getting somewhere with this. I do want it to be a little bit more cluttered though. I think getting some barrels in here seems like a good idea, just again to make it kind of feel like a tavern. We can do some crates up here. We'll change it out to be whatever this happens to be, and we'll just rotate it slightly so it's not perfect. Okay, so I think this room looks pretty decent now. We've got a bunch of clutter in the corners, a bunch of barrels, all slightly different colors as well, so they look a bit more unique and interesting. And we have some benches as well for our guests to sit and relax, which kind of has me thinking that I have an idea for this space that might just make it a little bit better. So we're going to go in with some hanging info stands. I want to put one right about there, and I want to put one right about there. We'll get rid of this one, and then we're going to go in with this guy right here. We have a temple throne, which I think would look really cool, just right in the middle. I think that's the coolest thing. We could do some benches. We could do some temple benches. I don't know that I want to do temple benches. I suppose I could sort of put one there, and I could sort of put one there. And I guess that's okay if you want to sit and kind of enjoy the temple vibe for a little bit. I'm also thinking that we might want to go in and just get a few more plants into this space. Since we've kind of expanded the dirt just a little bit, we'll want to make the place seem a little bit more overgrown. So we'll throw another one of these guys back here. We'll get another one and put it right about, say, there. And maybe another tree would be an idea. So if I grab this one, we could maybe put it somewhere like this. And I think that's okay. And I don't know if we need another one over here. To be honest, I think is that too much? You know what? Actually, I think I'm okay with that. I think I like that even more than I did before. Oh, I totally forgot this was a thing. So we lost Demon Grumble when we went to fight the dragon. There are now memorials that you can place whenever someone gets lost doing something. So I think in this case, what we'll do is put that memorial right about here. I think that kind of makes the most sense that it would be right there. I also guess we could decorate around it if we wanted to, which is interesting. We can certainly increase the buzz by putting it near botany decorations, which I guess we will probably do. And I suppose we could take this opportunity. Wait, what is that? What is it's closest to this. What is that exhibit exactly? That is a MIA memorial. Okay. It's just a general exhibit. All right. Well, I think what we'll do is decorate around the dragon's tail. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. So we'll start with some of these lights. I think one right there and one right there. Seems like a great idea. I think we could maybe do, let's see, we have a dragon thing right here. That seems kind of fitting for what we're looking at right here. So we'll get a couple of dragon banner things right there. It should be totally fine. We have these pillars. Do I want to try and get some pillars in here? I think I kind of do. I sort of like the idea that we have these pillars right back there. I think it's kind of, I don't know, bringing it together a little bit, I suppose, is how we'll look at it. And then what does this thing actually want? Near a pristine fantasy exhibit. That's going to be slightly tricky to do, given that we're not really putting it near any fantasy exhibits. So that's, yeah, that definitely complicates things for the dragon. All right, I think this is probably good enough. Let's move on to the dwarven space, which I want to look all sort of industrial and interesting and dark and kind of dungeony, but not super dungeony. We're just going to try and make this look dwarven, I guess, is what we're going for. So if we go into decorations and we go into science, this is kind of what I think will help this place look dwarven, is having these cogs and having these machines and just things like that to make it feel sort of that steampunky kind of dwarven vibe is what we're going for, rather than like a, it's I don't know. I mean, fantasy, dwarves in fantasy usually have like kind of a, there's almost a steampunky thing there a lot of the time. I immediately go into Lord of the Rings, which I realize doesn't have that vibe, but you know, that's fine. That's totally okay. I'm not really too sure what I can put in here. The valve planter is really cool though. I like that a lot. That's pretty neat. I'm not too sure what kind of, do these work as, they do work as decorations around this stuff. That's cool. We have pipe planters as well, which I'm pretty sure I can probably sort of stack together to, oh no, I can't. That's unfortunate. Okay. Was really hoping I could stack those together, but I guess not. We have water pipes for the walls. That's neat. We have trolley planters, which seems a little too, it's not quite what we're looking for. I think the cog shelf is nice though. So let's put that maybe back here. I'm not too sure what that's going to do in terms of decoration, but it looks good. So it's going in here. Oh, there we go. I think that's going to be perfect for our dwarven area. A lot of light, a lot of warm lights, a lot of metal and things like that as well. It's a bit of a weird one, honestly. The floor tiles I'm not too sure about, but I love the reflections of the floor tiles. So I think this is totally okay. So once again, this all kind of just got away from me, but I think I prefer how this looks now. I've added some bins. I've added a single vending machine that might be a terrible idea, but we'll see how that ends up going. And all things considered, I love this. I love how it looks. There's so much more that I kind of want to do with it, but I don't want to spend forever on just decorating today because there are some other things that we should probably do, such as sending people back to Wishfell Village for whatever this other thing happens to be. So we'll autofill this. We are likely to have, well, we're going to have one of these three things happen. I'm not really too sure what other options we have. We could send you, we could, I really don't want to autofill it with low level people. That's something I kind of like to avoid. It just seems like that's not really too much of an option. I guess we might, do we have some people that are injured? Am I going to have to go through my staff? The game does keep trying to remind me that people might be injured. So we have you, Are you injured? I honestly don't know. I don't remember how to check if someone's injured, which is slightly concerning. We also probably have some staff complaining about their pay, so let's make sure that everyone is satisfied. Let's also increase their pay by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A lot is what we're going to increase their pay by, just to make sure, again, that they're nice and happy. We'll also do some training, so we'll get you sorted out with tour guidelines. We'll go to you and say that you can do tour guidelines as well. And then going down the list, we've got another one for tour guidelines. We've got some assistants who I'm sure can be trained up as well. You, for example, happy thoughts might be a good idea. We can't go any further in customer service, but happy thoughts is going to make you generally happier, which seems good. I think some movement speed might not be bad either, but I think we'll go happy thoughts. I like the idea of some happy thoughts right there. I don't know what you do. You're on break, but we'll give you customer service just in case. You're a ticket booth, so you're also going to be customer service. You're a gift shop checkout, so we'll just say happy thoughts. Same thing with you, some happy thoughts. And you're a ticket booth, so you're going to be customer service. You're a marketing office, which is maxed out, so we'll say happy thoughts, I guess. Gift shop checkout is going to be customer service. Gift shop checkout maxed out is happy thoughts. Cafeteria, customer service. There are so many people that are getting maxed out in customer service. I absolutely adore it. It's so satisfying to see them all kind of getting up there a little bit. You're very good, although varied in what you do. So let's give you some workshop stuff just because I might as well. Let's max out your aerodynamics. Let's do workshop for you as well. And then when it comes to security, we'll go aerodynamics. You do camera stuff, so we'll also give you strolling surveillance, I guess. Same thing with you. Same thing with you. And you do camera stuff. That's totally fine. Anyone else needing trained? It doesn't look like it. Okay. Oh, you. We didn't get you. Oh, it turns out I might have missed a few, but it looks like we're good now. Everyone is lined up to be trained in something or other, which is good. Also looks like we might need more people to work in here because the queues for this gift shop are kind of huge, but that's fine, I suppose. I'm not super worried about that. I also forgot to mention, we now have Archwise Rise available, so we'll go ahead and unlock this, which gives us access to Troll Bridge, which requires a rogue with 15 dexterity. That's going to be interesting. This place needs 3 great quality temperate fish exhibits. I don't think we'll worry too much about that. We do need to send a wizard here, and there are a few different things we can get. We can get some gear, we can get some projects. I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. So let's set this up. Let's autofill. I don't like the idea that we're getting cursed. We are now no longer getting cursed, which is great. We'll go for some bonus XP and we'll go detailed just because we can. Now, let's also head over this way. And I mean, we're going over this way right now, but I want to start heading up towards Folktown. We haven't been here yet. We can send 2 experts. We might lose some money, but other than that, we'll be fine. If we can get higher dexterity, we get bonus XP though. So do we have anyone that has higher dexterity? I guess not. We have haggling hiatus available, which is nice. We have you, which is all right. What about you? Is that no, absolutely not being petrified. That's for sure. We're definitely sending, do we have someone? You. We need level 2 potion mastery for sure. That is a must have. As for the rest of it, I am not too sure that we're going to get the 18 dexterity that we need right now, which is honestly okay. Not really super worried about that, if I'm completely honest. Although I would like to, I can hover over them and see their stats. I don't know why I'm not doing that. I probably should. It would make sense. Losing this and losing this is fine. I would like to get the bonus XP, but that's okay. Oh wait, no, if we can go higher on this, we get things to be a little bit quicker. Interesting. Okay, I realize that's a bad thing. Okay, if we autofill, no, that's not good either. We definitely need you. I don't care about losing money. There was a combination here, man, that didn't have the haggling hiatus, right? You. There we go. That's better. It took so long. We'll go detailed on this as well. And sure, everybody can go do their thing. So let's take a look at what we're getting from Archwise Rise. We have a wizard's chat. Okay. Very much okay with this. Allows the wearer to spread wizardly wisdom to those within earshot. All right, it is the most gregarious headwear in the realm and can talk its way out of all manner of pickles and ensures there's always a voice in your head. All right, well, this is going to go right in here, I suppose. It's not lined in gold the way other exhibits have been. It is technically loot is the thing, so it might not belong in here, but it's gear, right? It's fine in there. I think that's an okay spot for it. I would like to move this thing just ever so slightly though, so it's more there. Although man, the spacing I've got on these does not line up all that nicely. If I brought that to there, does that work better? It's kind of hard to tell. I also missed a little bit of floor right there, apparently, which is fun. We could put this guy here. That has them lined up a little bit better, but I'm almost thinking that moving them back actually would make a little bit more sense. So if we just do this, I suppose? And can I move you over by one? No. Okay, so they are going to be a little bit closer to the hat. That's okay. I still think that looks just fine. And I would like to fix that one little bit of floor that I messed up in there, because that was annoying me. that was annoying me a lot more than it should have been. I think that looks fine though. We do have another crate over here. This one from Fault Town. So let's see what we're looking at from there. It is gonna be a coin of two sides. Sure, there are two sides to every coin, but they're rarely this different. So we have this one and we have, wait, is that the same? It's the same on both sides. It's the same on, no, it's not the same. Is it the same? Is it the same on both sides? Hold on a minute. No, it's not the same on both sides. It's different, I think. It doesn't, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll just place this thing. It's a big old coin, so I guess it can sort of go, man, how am I going to put a big old coin in the loot room here? How do I, I hadn't really, so here's the problem that I hadn't really thought about. How do I put new exhibits in here? I guess this has so much money in it right now. I was going to delete it, but no, we're not doing that. This can live here. I think it is a loot, or this is a gear room, I suppose. So it doesn't really belong right there, but it's going to live there for now is what it's going to do. This is going to be deleted. And then I'm going to just sort of copy and paste this guy around. So this can kind of live here. This can sort of live here. This could maybe even live kind of in the exhibit a little bit. So you kind of walk in there and read about it so it's out of the way. And then we can do a smaller donation bin sort of in the middle of this floor right here. Maybe like in here or against that wall. I think against that wall is completely fine. I don't mind that too much, although I might want to decorate around it a little bit. But at least then we have this new exhibit. We have this thing in here. I think it's fine. I would like to get someone to go and empty this so I can delete it though. Okay, so I suppose that's probably going to do us for today. I'm really happy with how this particular exhibit has turned out. I love this. I think it's really cool. I love the statues. I love the fire, the benches, all that good stuff. I'm really, really pleased with this. And obviously we did something similar with the chicken statue, which just in case you were curious about where the chickens are, they are in the staff room. Yes, there are chickens in the staff room. They work here, I guess. And honestly, all things considered, I'm just really happy with this space. I feel like for a while there with this game, I was just sort of building like a big warehouse and just putting stuff in it, right? So I want to do a little bit more of this with 2 Point Museum. And I'm not, how do I put this? I'm not 100% sure how regularly I'm going to be playing this, but tonight, anyway, when I sat down to record this, I just had one of those feelings of like, man, I've been doing nothing but Transport Fever lately. I've not really dabbled in anything else. And as much as I'm enjoying that, I wanted to sit down and just do something else. And I saw 2 Point Museum. I've still got it installed. And I remember that I hadn't done everything there was to do with the fantasy DLC. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I want to go and rebuild my exhibits, do some expeditions, and just play some 2 Point Museum, because honestly, I've seen some screenshots of what people can do with this, creatively speaking, and that's sort of where I got the idea to rebuild some of this and make it look a bit more interesting because, yeah, you can make things look cool in 2 Point Museum. Anyway, that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.